There you go. So, hey, how's your weekend? How's your travels?
Well, it was fantastic. We had a great graduation ceremony for Trevor. Got his master's degree in education over at UT Arlington. No protests. I almost, started screaming and putting on a head wrap and running around with my hair on fire. Like you said, in Texas, things don't really go the way they go in Chicago. Or and imagine walking out of Jerry Seinfeld.
I know.
Now, what role does Jerry Seinfeld play? This is really alarming because when you think about this, when you just hone in on this, consider what it is they're protesting. They're protesting a Jew.
Of course.
That's all it is, Mark.
That's it.
He's not a military guy. He's not a representative of the Biden administration.
Nope.
He's not a government official. He's Jerry Seinfeld, and he's giving some levity and some words of advice and what. And of course, I always wonder. We could go down a rabbit hole on commencement ceremony speakers. I mean, what's Jerry Seinfeld offered at Duke University? But okay, fine.
But I watched most of it, and it's wonderful. And one of the best commencement addresses I've ever seen was Conan O'Brien. I forget where, somewhere up in New England. They are comedians, comics, satirists are some of the most valuable commentary voices of our day because they're the ones who are unfettered by a lot of self-restraint. They're the focus of a lot of cancel culture. So it depends on what they do. I mean,
So anyway, but so some of them walked out because he's a Jew.
Of course.
Shades of 1940s America. I mean, this is the throwback. Biden is reportedly withholding key intelligence from Israel to bribe them to prevent them to going into Rafah.
This is different. This is different than withholding the weaponry. This shows that the Biden administration has had key intelligence they could have shared with Israel all along to help them win the war and chose not to do so.
Meanwhile, did you see what they did from Rafah in the last 12 hours? They fired a rocket that landed on a playground. Thank goodness the kids got enough warning and they were huddled in a bomb shelter. But where did the bomb come from? Where did the rocket get launched from? Rafah. Hamas is launching rockets from Rafah, which is where they're holed up. It's their last, their last bastion here, their last point of refuge. And Israel's like, we got to go get them. We have to get them. And Blinken is saying, don't you dare. Biden is saying it's a red line. Look, Biden's between a rock and a hard place. All he's trying to do is appease Michigan. That's all he's trying to do. All he's trying to do is say, I got to make sure that the pro-Palestinian wing, the pro-Hamas wing of my party is appeased. He is flailing. He's underwater. Fareed Zakaria did a 4-minute monologue about how we got to just accept this here. Trump is poised to win. And Fareed Zakaria admitted on CNN, if his name had been anything other than Trump, he wouldn't be facing the courtroom drama he's facing.
Exactly.
So along comes Donald Trump. My buddy, we had a lot of friends in Wildwood, New Jersey. I would have loved to have gone, of course, with Trevor's graduation. Wow. Well, and I'm not going to exaggerate the crowd size. I'll go with the city of Wildwood, 80 to 100,000.
Works for me.
Oh, that's the city of Wildwood said that, Mark.
Yes, exactly.
That's the official city spokeswoman, and they know about crowd sizes because they host concerts along the beach all the time.
Yeah.
So let's just accept it. 100,000 people show up in a small New Jersey town. How many months from the election? We're not even in the thick of it. Yep. This is not campaign season. That starts really September, October. This is a phenomenon. Everybody knows it. The Democrats are in full-fledged panic. And they're going to lie. This is what I mean by media corruption. Chris DeGaulle, our friend and colleague in Philadelphia, went to the rally, as did Joe Piscopo. And Joe got an interview with the big guy. We're going to play some of that interview today on the Mike Gallagher Show. And we're going to talk to Joe, I hope, as well during the program. But here's what Chris DeGaulle writes. This is an actual, I'm looking right now at a headline, a graphic on CNN. Now, Mark, I don't know how much of the rally you saw or heard or read about.
Good bit.
Okay? All right. Here's the CNN headline. Now, if you didn't see the rally, you'd think, oh, my Lord, Trump has lost his mind. Here's the headline. This is the graphic, and I'm reading it. You see three talking heads, CNN. Quote, Trump praises Hannibal Lecter as a wonderful man.
Thank you.
Trump praises now what he does, everybody knew what he was joking about. Oh, he was a wonderful guy. Come on over for dinner. Ha ha ha. Everybody knew. He's told this joke before. But they do this regularly. They take a joke that he tells like that, and they make it literal because you know what they're banking on? Most people, at least certainly in their audience, didn't see the rally.
The low information voter and the somewhat swayable voters in the middle. It's their only hope.
It's not only that, but it reinforces the true media corruption, Mark. This is confirmation and proof positive how they're willing to lie, cheat, or steal, or do anything they can to keep this guy from being as popular as he is. And I'm sorry, there's 100,000 people in Wildwood, New Jersey on a Saturday afternoon who beg to differ with
Did you see the number
CNN's efforts.
one of the CNN slugs at the bottom said thousands attend Trump rally, which is not inaccurate. However, it's deliciously vague. Thousands could be 3,000, could be 5,000.
Mark, they were doing it
7,000. It was
100,000
people.
They were doing it at Fox News too. Even Fox
I know
News
you pointed that out. I know.
The reporter was saying, there are thousands of people here, perhaps tens of thousands.
Yeah,
perhaps.
Yep.
Yeah, perhaps the sky is up and the ground is down, you dummy. What are you worried about? They're so afraid. They're so fearful. And they are in panic. And I'm telling you, I'll say it again. I'm going to say it for the millionth time. Ain't no way they're going with Joe Biden. There's no way. That's all they can do, Mark.
For those new to the show and new to the segment, I can't say Mike is wrong about this because please look at him. He's driven by Earth logic, and it's true. But it is a wild and serpentine series of events that has to happen for Biden to get sidelined. And I'll believe it when I see it, but we may all see it.
We may see it. Here's some breaking news from a Wall Street Journal poll just out. Trump's backing among black men in 7 battleground states, are you ready for this? 30%. It's more than double the support he got nationwide among the same group in 2020, where he got 12%. I mean, everything is pointing, dare I say it, to a landslide. I mean, Mark, is it too early to say that? Honestly, is it too early? I mean, everything is pointing to that. Chicago, Daly Plaza, they hoisted the Palestinian flag.
Of course they did.
In Chicago. Can you imagine? That's going to be the scene, by the way, the site of the DNC convention.
And I take no pleasure in this, and I don't even really mean to come across as glib or anything less than serious about this when we talk about anticipating the rioting in Chicago. The weird thing is that the city in 1968, when we had Chicago rioting, at what became the Hubert Humphrey Convention, the city, at least they were on the side of the police. This time they're going to be on the side of the protesters, as Chicago is going to be literally on fire as Democrats gather to anoint someone.
Oh, I mean, completely, it's going to burn. I'm not going anywhere near there. We're going to broadcast from Milwaukee. We're going to do the show from the RNC, but I don't want to go to the DNC. I do, though, want to give real kudos to the students, the brave warriors at Princeton University. They went on a hunger strike against Israel. They have called an end to their hunger strike, quote, due to health concerns. That's some real Rosa Parks stuff right there.
I gotta tell you, that's.
They're hungry. I mean, dude, here was what they said. Princeton Divest Now, which is the student protest group that is calling for the New Jersey Ivy League school to divest from America's Middle Eastern ally due to the high civilian death toll in Gaza, said, quote, due to health concerns of the 13 strikers who fasted for 10 days, the first hunger strike wave has ended, and the second wave has begun. Oh, you mentioned they got hungry. They got hungry on the hunger strike.
They had health concerns. My tummy's growling.
I want a Big Mac.
That's kind of the point of a hunger strike, is you're throwing yourself into the strike zone, taking one for the team, sacrificing your own health because you care so much about the issue.
I played a clip. A bunch of these freaks blocked Disney World. Now you start messing with Disney World.
That's fighting talk.
Now you're crossing the line. Okay, now you can walk out on Jerry Seinfeld. You screw up Mickey. Don't mess with Mickey and Minnie. And some of these screwballs blocked the entrance. And a young woman who was one of the protesters blocking the entrance to Disney World was videotaping it on her cell phone. Mm-hmm. And she's like, free Palestine, free Palestine. And then the cops come. The sirens go off, and you can hear the fear and panic in her voice.
No.
And she's like, Kristen, let's get out of here. Quick, let's get out of here. To Kristen, another brave intifada warrior. These aren't anarchists, Mark. They're just little spoiled brats who crave attention.
It's a tantrum. And there was another from that same thing. I saw a guy, I don't know if he was sympathetic to them or just trying to show them some clarity, got out and said, "You people are idiots. You're driving people away from your cause. This is not helping you."
Are they this dumb? Bill Maher is one of the smart guys in the room on that side of the aisle.
Yeah.
I watched a CBS morning show profile, and I still love that show. I know sometimes they veer a little bit more left than I'd like, but pretty much they're down the middle. Jane Pauley, CBS Sunday Morning, and they touch on nature and art, the arts and culture, and they did a big profile on Bill Maher. And Bill Maher's like, hey, I represent the vast middle. I call out the extremists on both sides, and he's the one sounding the battle cry right now that the Democrats are going to lose this thing. They're going to lose big. Now, I don't know if they're going to lose. Are they going to lose up and down ballot? What does Mark Davis in his perch think about November 5th in terms of down ballot?
I tend to think what I always think about down ballot, and that is less about the presidential race than everybody thinks. It has, I mean, if there's a huge Trump wave, will that help every Republican? Of course it will, but ultimately, except in states that have straight ticket voting, which we don't have anymore, in Texas, it tends to be people voting for there will be people who will vote for Trump who may not vote for every Republican. There will be people who will vote for Biden who may vote for the occasional Republican, especially in purple states like New Jersey. So,
well, here we go. We're ready for another big week. May the 13th.
30 seconds of how you think today's Michael Cohen testimony day is going to go.
Gosh,
in the Trump trial.
That's your star witness. I mean, this guy ain't exactly Winston Churchill. I mean, Michael Cohen. This guy is so sleazy and so tainted. I mean, he is all the Trump defense is going to have to say is, you're going to believe this guy? He's been convicted of perjury.
Please. And speaking
He's
of Bill Maher,
liar.
he went right after Stormy Daniels' testimony, showing her lying about whether she even had a relationship with Trump. She's a terrible witness. Indeed.
Wouldn't it make sense? I mean, all bluster and political posturing aside, wouldn't it be stronger for Alvin Bragg's case if they had some credible witnesses against Trump?
You
really,
like
you know what I mean?
Like this. Or an actual crime to point to. And
there's no crime. There's no credible witness. There's no. I mean, this is
picky.
I know. Just don't confuse me with facts. All right.